This is for neighbor Heather. Ah. This is for neighbor Heather. Neighbor Heather is in Kalamazoo. Neighbor Heather and I we like have a connection. She once said, "You're like my uncle." I said, I think I've always felt like we were more like brother or sister. One, suckled from the same uterine blood. We've got ideas that when we're standing and something happens, we're both a part of it. It's like standing there, she had showed me something, this Juji Mufu guy going, flamingo! He running around and kicking these damn fake flamingos like he's in Parma, Ohio. No Polak from the north living in Parma. Only it's like he's works out and he's a bodybuilder. He's huge and he's very fit and agile and everything. And he's running around in a circle kicking these plastic fake flamingos and he yells, "Flamingo!" And he's like, "Ah!" And she's like, "Oh." And I'm looking at him like, oh my good golly. You ever look at somebody that looks like you and you agree? It freaks you out. This guy is like a doppelganger of me. He's another aspect. And we both saw that and we laughed and laughed and laughed. Then standing there on the porch the one night, we're standing there talking right at that time. And we're on the porch and watching people roll by like they do after closing time on bicycles and the bums and everybody else. And it was like this skinny bum just went rolling by quietly on his bicycle down that road. And all of a sudden he yells, "Flamingo!" And it's like, whoa, he didn't see us. He doesn't even know anything. Why would somebody yell flamingo and we go, ha 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 ha. We have these experiences like the time when I walked up the steps and she's sitting there having her cigarette. And I said, "You working today?" And she's like, "What?" I said, "Hey girl, you working?" And just at that time, one of the Kalamazoo College girls had always walked by and acted nice because Siete was down there, and she's like, "Oh, they're all young. And I'm just some old guy going, I pay no attention to him whatsoever outside of the fact that I'm sitting there drinking a beer without a shirt and smoking a cigarette, and I'm, and I got a black cat. I go fucking all nice to him. And so this girl happens to be walking by, which she never trusted me to begin with. Why would she? There's no reason for her not to, but why would she? And at that time I say, "Hey girl, you working?" She didn't know I wasn't yelling down the street at her. And the thing is, it's not that funny unless you're the person that's sitting there and you see the tweak on reality and the joke that was just made and nobody gets it but you. It just made it. It sounded like such a perverted thing to say, and it was totally innocent. But we laugh and we laugh, and that neighbor Heather and I have always been able to laugh and laugh and laugh. Stand there at the door when I was there a few months ago, and we hear pop, 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 and we both looked at each other, and without saying, was that a gunshot? Because, the north side is close right there. You hear pop, pop, pop. Sometimes it's fireworks that are blowing off in the middle of summer, but this wasn't time for 4th of July, and it sounded like pop, pop, pop. And instead of saying, was that gunfire? We both thought it, but we looked at each other And we saw the thought in each other's eyes, and we said, yeah, that was real. We both said it, and we were like, oh, we have a connection. It's neighbor Heather. And you stand there and you watch the stuff that goes on, and you giggle, and everything happens. And she just sent me something about those people with their propane tanks that were donated to take care of the homeless people. Sent that because she knew I would find it interesting, but my gosh, explosions, explosions, explosions. Neighbor Heather, we've always got along really well. There's always weird shit that goes on around us. It's not that it goes around us, it's that we see it at the same time. We see it the same way. And she had just sent the picture of me, or to me, of my shopping list. And she keeps hold of these things. She's neighbor Heather.